Peace. Peace. Or should we say love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So this subject matter is called Moorish Science Revealed by Noble Drew Ali. The previous video was about the historical aspect of how we was confused by people who wanted to confuse us. And those are the blacker Moors, the dirty Moors. Now, what we have to understand about what Noble Drew Ali was bringing us. Noble Drew Ali was bringing us the revealed secret of what the invaders was practicing. Now, the overall understanding is just to get you confused and to get you to worship something you know not. And in efforts of them doing it, they want to create for you an eternal death. But for the advent of that, Noble Drew Ali came, who was sent by Illallah, the prophet from Illallah. And so what the prophet did, who was an angel in the flesh, he revealed all the secrets of Rome. And the secrets of Rome is called Moorish science. And the key thing in this Moorish science, this is why this had to be revealed the way it was. Because when it comes to this Moorish science, this is what Rome has used to create false religions, create false books to lure beautiful spirits in to think they are worshiping the true and the pure. As you see, that's not the case. The case is somebody been playing games. And we've been trying to figure out what this game is. And the game is called nationality games. The new science that was revealed was that they was practicing nationality as a way to trick the people. Because they know they could never trick the people with the truth itself, so they had to come with the lie, which is the nationalities game or scam. So within the nationality scam, this is where you get Noble Drew Ali being the only one to bring the order of the day is nationality. This was the understanding, because this is what they used to cast us into a system that was deprived and unable to receive the rights, let's just say of the rights of Illallah, but that would be transcribed to God, and these things have come forth. And so all these other nations, they needed us to join in this nationality game for the game to begin. Us being Americans, we don't need the word black, Negro, colored, or African in front of American. That is what's creating the nationality game. Everybody else is a nationality. See, there's two ways. You either from the Creator or you from man. And man represents a nation. And a nation is an artificial creation. It's not made from the Creator. It's made from man. And man is not always right. Sometimes you got the man that is still bound by flesh. And this is what this is about. In order to keep the nationality bound in flesh, they had to come up with a science. Now, this method of science they came up with is called Moorish science. Now, a little backdrop is that, did you know that Noble Drew Ali had to sneak into these temples in his olden times to get these lessons? Meaning he had to dress up as them, to be seen as them, so he can get the secrets to bring them back to the people and then expose the whole ordeal so we can get our love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice back. And the plan was successful. But after he passed, the people came back in and began to confuse the new Moors, who didn't know the actual truth. So this is why you keep having these nationality or the nation. Listen, that is a part of the nationality game. So now, to bound every nation through its nationality, they created a science called Moorish science. And here is the method of Moorish science right here. This is what Noble Drew Ali was bringing forth to us. The Elihu lessons. Now, if you understand, let's see, let me show you. Let me show you something. So this is very, very understanding right here. The son of Herod, Archelaus, reigned in Jerusalem. See, so this was going down in Jerusalem. The council said that John and Jesus both were dead and that he was satisfied. Now Joseph, Mary, and their son were down in Egypt in Zoan, and John was with the mother in the Judean hills. See, so this is very key because this is where the teachings begin. Elihu. Now, this is where you get the word Elohim. So we have to understand these things. Now, it says Elihu sent messengers to find Elizabeth and John. Now, Mary and Elizabeth was marveling much because of their deliverance. Elihu said, "It is not strange. There are no happenings. Law governs all events. From olden times, it was ordained that you should be with us, and in this sacred school be taught." Elihu and Salome took Mary and Elizabeth out of the sacred grove nearby where they want to teach. So the point is that it begins with Elihu teaching them the lessons that was in a sacred school. And this school was in once the Judean hills. That's where John was. Then you had Egypt. That's where Joseph and Mary and their son was down in Egypt. So now when we come to chapter 3, the unity of life, when Elihu begins to meet his pupils in the sacred grove, we talking about education of Mary and Elizabeth. Now, this is the understanding that the method, this is why you keep hearing a double mind or a double name or a double anything, because of this right here. Understand this. Chapter 3, number 5. There are two selves, the higher and the lower self. Now, this is where the nationality game begins right here. They want to say that there's two selves, meaning there's two yous, which is not true. And you shouldn't have to make many a sense of that. It's not a double you. So this doppelganger is talking about the flesh. It's not talking about your higher self. It's talking about this flesh you have. And this flesh you have, they want to split the flesh into two parts. So one could be a nationality, and then one can be something that's worshiping or calling upon a deity. So this is what they have created with their education. They created a separate education which will gives you a lower self-education, but it will front to be as a higher self-education, when actuality it's a lower self-education. Now this is what we receive through the school system of public education. The public education was to draw you away, pull you away, bring you away from the true teachings of the highest self and bring you into a double teaching, two selves. So this is why you are called Black American or African American. This is creating two selves. And this is done by a particular science that Noble Drew Ali revealed that is called Moorish science, aka Islamism. Now, why is this key? Because only in Islamism is the two selves a human aspect. Everywhere else, in other religions, it's a personified as the devil, Satan, or someone that was kicked out of heaven. This is how they created the conundrum we in today that's giving us the confusion. The confusion begins with the two selves. There's only one self, not two selves. And this is how they created the confusion we have today, the make-believe we have today, and the cover of lies that we are continually to pull off of everything. Now, this is very key. Now, the two selves, this is why you have mental illness, health disease, or bipolar. All this comes from this psychology. And then it advances it to understand what this is. So, in the Moorish Holy Quran is where I'm getting this from. Divinely paired by Noble Drew Ali, he is telling us what Rome has been practicing from what they have plagiarized through invading the lands they came into. And so this is what they know, and this is what they won't tell you. Like, they know there are only two things. This is number 4. Let me start with 3. Chapter 7, number 3. And Jesus said, truth is the only thing that changes not. Now check this. In all the world, there are two things. The one is truth. One is truth. The other is falsehood. Falsehood, that which seems to be. See, so this is a preparation of the two selves. So they needed us to fall into the lower self in order to take the throne or to rule as gods over our land. Now check this out. Number 10, the holy breath. The holy breath. Now I'm going to recorrect that. The holy self is truth. The holy self is truth. Is that which was, is, and evermore shall be. The holy self cannot change nor pass away. Lama said, you answer well. Now what is man? Question mark. And Jesus said, man is the truth and falsehood strangely mixed. See, and this is where you have to know through deep spiritual wisdom that man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed. And 13 says, man is the breath made flesh. And there go your two selves right there. They making the breath a self, and they making the flesh a self. And these two is not even the holy self. So they created a method called Moorish science, called Islamism, to entrap souls in eternal damnation by serving gods of cavemen. Now check this out. This is what we need to know. Man, remember, man, that's the falsehood, is the breath made flesh. This is the falsehood. This has got nothing to do with the holy breath. See, self is not mentioned there. Man is. And man is the breath made flesh, while self is the holy self. Spiritual self. So, skipping down, you got 18. The ethers cause these powers to be, and thought of Elohim, of angel, man, or other thinking things, beast, directs the force. See, so the ether directs the force. The ether directs the force. So we need to know, what is this ether? See, and this is what created all powers to be, thought of Elohim, angel, man, or any other thinking thing. So that is called semen. The ethers is semen. Semen is how forms are coming to flesh. Now, with that clearly being said, there's another one that say directed by the breath. There goes 16. Force is the will of Illallah and is omnipotent. Force means love. Love is the will of Illallah and is omnipotent. Power is that love in manifest, directed by the breath. This is where you have to understand the beginning of the lower self. See, the love is directed by the spirit. See, man is directed by the breath of the flesh. And these two is considered his lower spirit, breath, his lower flesh, him. And these are the 3/5 of slavery that we have to understand that was taken away. Nationality was not our savior. Nationality is their savior. Divinity is our savior. And divinity is not their savior. So I rose from the divine creator to give this message. It's the first thing I did. So we have to understand the importance of what our creator wants to know. Now, this is why wisdom is so important. See, all this is not Noble Drew Ali teachings. Only teaching in here that's Noble Drew Ali's is chapter 1. Other than that, these are Moorish sciences used by Romans, who are North Africans, to conquer lands, people, and to put a trick magic on the people to start worshiping something they know not. So in order to get this in order to get yourself out of this situation, you're going to need spiritual wisdom. Now, we finna learn, get a little quick insight, and then we finna depart. 22. Again, now check this out. We'll start at 20. And Jesus said, now this is about Lammas asked Jesus of understanding, what have you to say? And Jesus said, understanding is the rock on which man builds himself. Understanding is the rock on which self builds himself. Now, it is the gnosis of the alt and of the naught, of falsehood and of truth. Self-gnosis, listen y'all, self-gnosis, aka understanding, is the knowledge of the lower flesh, the breathing of the powers of man himself. 22. Again, Lammas asked of wisdom, what have you to say? And Jesus said, wisdom is the consciousness that self is alt. Now, this is what the true understanding is. Not man is alt, truth, the self is alt. Man is flesh. Flesh is breath. Breath and flesh get here by way of semen. And here's your triune lower self that the world is worshiping. Not the spirit or spiritual wisdom or you becoming spiritually wise. In order for you to become spiritually wise, you need to know wisdom is the self-gnosis that self is alt. That illallah and self are one. That illallah and self are one. Spirit and self are one. That naught is naught, fake is fake. That power is but illusion. That heaven and earth and hell are not in the sky above, on the earth below, in the atmosphere around, or below, but in. Self-gnosis is but in, which in the light of alt becomes the naught, and spirit is all. Illallah means spirit. Spirit, the divine spirit, is all. And all you need to know to complete this journey of self is that the divine spirit is all. And all is the divine spirit. And the divine spirit, by Sufayana Americana, we call the divine creator. Not only the great spirit, the divine spirit, illallah. With that being said, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. As-salam, Sufayan. We are the Sufayana Americana.